look at. So let's go ahead and begin with Green Bay at Wright State. 7 o'clock tip-off at the Little Caesars Arena. That is a neutral site game. Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, or Auburn Hills, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, Wright State opened the betting as the 6.5-point favorite, total at 149.5. And since that one opened up, we're seeing movement downward on the spread. We're also seeing movement downward on the total as well. Right now, the Raiders of Wright State are -6. Total move down to 148.5. So once again, Wright State opened 6.5 down to -6. Total open 149.5 down to 148 and a hook. 55% of the consensus is leaning toward the Phoenix of Green Bay. Meanwhile, 53% of the consensus is shaded toward the under in this matchup here. Now, Green Bay is 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. They rank 23rd in the nation in scoring. They're averaging 81 points per contest. Meanwhile, Wright State is just 206th in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting 45% from the field. Wright State is also covering just 22% of their games away from home when favored. Total-wise, Wright State is 60% to the over when the line was over 145. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Green Bay, they're 60% to the over themselves, taking on teams allowing 67 to 72 points per contest. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the underdog in this matchup here. I like the Phoenix of Green Bay +6 in the over 148.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Pepperdine taking on Gonzaga. 9 o'clock tip-off at the Orleans Casino in Las Vegas. Well, I don't think it's in the casino. It's the arena. Is it connected to the casino? I know a couple of you guys in Vegas. The Orleans Arena. I don't know if it's in the casino, connected to the casino, or just sponsored by the casino. But anyway, it's out there in the desert. And Gonzaga has opened up as the 24.5-point favorites in this matchup here. Total at 158.5. And since that one opened up, we're seeing movement downward on the spread. We're also seeing movement downward on the total as well. 23.5 on the spread, 157 on the total. So once again, Gonzaga opened 24.5 down to -23.5. Total open 158 and a hook down to 157 even. Pepperdine 3-0 against the spread in their last 3, 5-2 at ATS in their last 7. They rank 17th in 3-point shooting. They're shooting 38% from downtown. They've also covered 78% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. Now, the Bulldogs of Gonzaga, they failed to cover in their last 3 games that tipped off at the current point spread. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 ball games. They're just 5-7 ATS in their games away from home this year. When it comes to the scoring, Gonzaga's 4-3 to the under in their last 7, 60% to the under in their games at the current posted total. Pepperdine 8-4 to the under away from home, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. I like the underdog in this matchup here. It's a lot of points. Give me Pepperdine, the Waves. The Waves of Pepperdine, +23.5 in the under 157 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It is going to be Oakland taking on Northern Kentucky. 9:30 tip-off at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. The Norse of Northern Kentucky, their nickname is the Norse. Northern Kentucky Norse open 5.5, total 155. We're seeing movement downward on the spread. We're seeing movement downward on the total. The Norse now -5, total 153. Once again, Northern Kentucky open 5.5 down to -5. Total open 155 down to 153. If you like the Norse in this matchup here, might be tough sledding for you. They're taking on a Grizzlies team from Oakland, who's 4-0 ATS in their last 4. Played at the current number. So once again, Oakland 4-0 ATS in their games that tipped off at the current point spread. They're also 4-1 ATS in their last 5. Northern Kentucky, well, they failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6. They've also covered just 4 out of 14 games away from home. Now, Northern Kentucky's covering just 25% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread, and they are covering just 27% of their games after 4 or more days off. Now, total-wise, Northern Kentucky's 2-0 to the under, taking on Oakland this year. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are 84% to the under in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. Give me the underdog in this one. Clean sweep of underdogs in college basketball for me today. I like Oakland +5 in the under 153 in that matchup there. All right, next and final slate, it is going to be in the National Hockey League, and we're going to take a look at 3 games here as well, beginning with the Blue Jackets at the Islanders, 7 o'clock puck drop in Long Island. The Islanders open $1.25 total, 5.5. Now we're seeing movement on both the money line and the total in this matchup here. We're actually seeing a 10-cent fade of the Islanders when it comes to that money line. We're also seeing movement upward in reference to the total. Right now, the Islanders are -115. Total moved up to 6. Once again, the Islanders opened $1.25 down to -115. Total open 5.5 up to 6. 61% are leaning Columbus, 83% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Blue Jackets are +103 on the money line. The Islanders are +230 on the puck line. Bobrovsky's projected in net for Columbus. Grice projected in net for the Islanders. New York is 2-0 straight up, taking on Columbus this year. They're winning 74% of their games as the official home favorite. New York also is first in the NHL in goals allowed. They're giving up just 2.4 goals per contest on average. Now, Columbus on the other side, they're just 3-4 straight up in their last 7. They're winning just 44% of their games, taking on teams allowing less than 2.6 goals per contest. When it comes to the scoring, Columbus is 4-1 to the under in their last 5, 8-3 to the under in their last 11. Meanwhile, New York 13-4-2 to the under, taking on teams over 550. Give me the Islanders -115 and the under 6 goals in that matchup there. Next game, Lightning Maple Leafs, 7 o'clock puck drop in Toronto. The Leafs open 110, total 6.5. Not a whole lot of movement in this one. Pretty good two-way action on all parts. We did see a slight 5-cent move toward Toronto in the early going here. They're now -115. So once again, the Leafs open 110 up to -115. Totals at 6.5. 70% are leaning Tampa Bay, 68% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Lightning are +105 on the money line. Toronto +205 on the puck line. Vasilevsky's projected in net for Tampa Bay. Anderson projected in net for Toronto. The Leafs are 6-2 straight up in their last 8. They're winning 72% of their games, taking on teams over 550. Toronto also ranks 3rd in scoring in the NHL. They're averaging 3.6 goals per contest. Now, Tampa Bay is winning just 33% of their games as the official road underdog. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 10 played at the current market price. They rank 22nd in shots allowed at 32.2 a game. So other teams having plenty of opportunities to put the puck in the net, averaging 32 shots per game on Tampa Bay. Now, scoring-wise, the Lightning just 43% to the over when Bobrovsky makes the start. They're 0-2 to the over, taking on Toronto. Meanwhile, the Maple Leafs just 40% to the over, taking on teams allowing 2.6 to 2.9 goals per contest. Give me Toronto -115 and the under 6.5 goals in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Sharks Wild. 8 o'clock puck drop in Minnesota. The Sharks open $1.25, total at 6. And since this one opened up, not a whole lot of movement on this one. We've seen a nickel move towards San Jose. No real surprises there. They're now 130. Once again, San Jose opened $1.25 up to -130. Totals at 6. 64% are leading San Jose. 75% shaded toward the over. Right now, Minnesota's plus $1.10 on the money line. San Jose plus $1.95, laying the goal and a half. We have Jones projected in net for San Jose. Dubnyk projected in net for Minnesota. San Jose's 4-0 straight up in their last 4. Nice little 4-game winning streak for the Sharks. They're also 7-3 straight up in their last 10. The Sharks rank second in the NHL in scoring